Okay, well, I'm in Cong, and I'll give you 3 guesses what happened. Yes, you were right the first time it started to rain. I just about managed to get done what I wanted to get done, and now I'm on my way back to Mayo. I think the misunderstanding about Ireland, the west of Ireland, is that it rains all the time. And it doesn't rain all the time at all. It just rains a lot of the days. Part of those days are lovely and sunny, and part of them rain. I've been looking at the decoration and how it differs on the Abbey voussoirs, and even on the jambs in some of the doors. And although the ornament is foliate, as a lot of Romanesque is, I couldn't see any animal forms. There was a little face on one of them, but I have an idea that that's a later addition, but maybe not. But it seems to me, I took a bit of film of the river running, and the movement in the sculpture is very similar to the movement of the water going under the bridge, a bridge, past the abutments and the piers. And I wonder if this was part of the influence to the design, was the amount of quite fast flowing water in this area. I could say it definitely is, because no one can prove otherwise, but I don't know. It just seems to me slightly different, and that slight difference does resemble the movement of the water in the river, which as well is quite, again, this is just a thought that I've just had. The water here is quite dark. I presume it's peaty, boggy water. It's very clear, very clean, but it's sort of brownish tint. And this brownish tint allows you to see the surface movement on the water more than before I was here. I was around the chalk streams of the Cotswolds in the UK, and because of the light colour, it's you don't pick up the surface movement and shapes as much as you do with the bronzy coloured water in this area. So again, just another thought. Neither of these things are fact or certain. How I often come to these decisions, I work out, well, before the design, I try to find out what materials were open to them. So for instance, with this, they wouldn't be using hand saws, they may be using axes, I don't know. I use axes in my work, but I've not tried that yet with this harder limestone, so I don't know. The chisels, we know roughly mild steel, tempered by a blacksmith, chisels and mallets or hammers. So we know the tools. We can go and look at the stone, and then we can find a quarry that is very similar, or sometimes exactly the same as the stone that they used in the 13th, 12th century. from there then, as a craftsperson who was been brought up in a hand tool tradition, I try to metaphorically lay all these things on a table, and a bit like a recipe for a cake or something, I think, what can I make from this? How would I do this? If I was going to make some ornament and I had these tools and this stone, and I hadn't been out of this part of Ireland, or if I had, I would have been wherever it is, here, possibly Scotland, possibly wherever, Scandinavia, wherever, might have some links to there. But apart from that, they'd have very little world view of things, and then I go from there. So this is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just trying to work out what they may have done and how they may have done it, and my ideas are as good as the next man's and theirs are as good as mine. I just go from the experience I've got working stone as a craftsperson.